Washington State. Most meaningful Apple Cup since certainly the early 2000s, maybe since 1981, when there was kind of a winner and in if things broke right for Washington game to go to the Rose Bowl. I think it's going to be a tremendous game. I really do. Huge part of this is the fact that every time Washington State has faced a really good secondary, they've struggled throwing the ball. They did last week against Colorado. They did against UCLA. And the other really good secondary in the Pac-12, I think there are only three, is Washington with those two corners. And I think Kevin King in particular with his interception last week, I mean, sensational stuff. They've got Budda Baker. I think JoJo McIntosh, who did not play last week, will probably play this week at the safety position. So I think that would be an advantage for Washington in this game.
And also, they can get a pass rush probably better than your alma mater can, I think.
Yeah.
And so that puts more pressure. Now, Falk gets rid of the ball pretty quick, but, I mean, to me, I think Washington's the better team. And I just think I don't think Washington State is built to play them right now, the way they're set up, when I look at just the personnel-wise. It's not a good matchup for them.
If Washington commits to running the ball, because they didn't commit to trying to run against USC, and I think that really hurt them. They were trying to go side to side. And, Matt, as you know, against the speed that USC puts on the field, I thought it was a bad game plan for Washington. If they committed like Colorado did in the second half to getting downhill on Washington State, I think they might have more success in that direction. What do you like in that game?
I agree. I think it's all on Washington State's defense. I think
if they can slow down the Huskies.
If they can just slow them down, it sounds simple, but the fact that you said, I mean, what's the D-line average? The 250?
Well, it was 257 before Robert Barber came back.
Okay, so
Robert Barber did come back.
Washington State's defensive front, very, very undersized.
I've got it right here. Hercules Ma
He's 242, not what they list him at, by the way.
Okay, so it says 252. He's more like 242.
It's just
Equale is 290, probably a little bit of an exaggeration.
Nnamdi Aguayo, who's 225, and then they're going to stick Robert Barber in there. So they're small.
I just think just what Colorado was able to do is just, and I think Washington. I'd say Washington and Colorado are fairly evenly rushed football teams, right? I mean, Washington.
I think Washington's a better Washington.
Miles Gaskin.
I would say so.
Miles Gaskin.
I don't want to take anything away from Philip Lindsay.
But do you have
Gaskin's got that special burst.
Does anyone have? There's no John Ross in Boulder, by the way.
No, and they did all that throwing the ball after Bryce Bobo got hurt. They had Jay McIntyre had a big game. Mike McIntyre's son. They certainly. I mean, McClatcher is a good player. Pettis is a really good player on the outside.
A great player,
and John Ross is
special.
The key will be Washington State running the football like they've done better. They actually ran the ball decent against Colorado, and just third downs. They got to be better. They got to keep their defense off the field.
Yep. Yeah. Third downs.
They're going to score. They're going to score some points, but if they can't, I mean, I think this is tough sledding for the Cougars this week.
The thing is that they create opportunities for themselves, but then within those opportunities, there's no margin for error.
Right.
Like Mark's getting behind the defense, and he got overthrown once and dropped one for a touchdown. If those two are caught, that's a different game. But again, no margin for error for Washington State, in particular against Washington, who I think is going to be their best opponent that they've seen all year long. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It's a college football tradition.